Let's start with neck. Just sitting up, however you want to. Just breathing in, turn the head slightly to the left. When the head stops, stop. In terms of don't force it. Just a couple of breaths here. And then come back to the centre. And very gently turn the head to the right. And then come back to the centre. Drop the chin to the chest. And trace a semicircle up to the left shoulder with your chin. Reverse that like a pendulum swinging. And come up to the right shoulder. And once more to each side. And then come back to the centre. And then before we start, we're going to take a calming breath. So I'm going to make it, modify it. Breathe in for 4, hold for 5, breathe out for 6. Just a couple of breaths. Perhaps a third breath. And then we're going to start in child's pose, or your variation of it. You've got a bolster there. So come to knees apart. If you're not comfortable bringing your bottom to the heels, then bring your bottom up. You can use your bolster to rest your forehead. It's optional. And then just stretch your hands out, just stretching your lower back. Be comfortable. As I said, if you want to bring your bottom up and come into puppy pose, and stretch your upper back a little bit more, then feel free. And then just really stretch your arms and stretch out. And then just come to hands and to all fours. Maybe move your bolster out of the way. And start mobilizing the spine by dipping the back and rounding the back. This will also release your neck as you round your back and let the head relax down. And just very gently start to sway the hips from side to side. Bottom will move. And if you want to make a figure of 8 with your hips, you can do. Or just stick to swaying from side to side. The figure of 8 can be minimal or it can be more exaggerated. And then come to move your hands to the left. This is still looking at the hips. And slide the right foot up. And then bring both hands to the inside of your right foot and make any adjustments with your right foot going out to the right, and adjust your left knee. And just let your right knee come forward beyond the 90 degrees, and then just slightly back. You'll just exploring very gently as you come slightly forwards and backwards the outer right hip. And then take your hands to place one hand on either side of your right foot and slide your right heel, right foot out and extend your right toes upwards. You're leaning over. Yeah. And then very quickly sliding your right leg back. Just come to all fours and sway your hips from side to side. And then move the hands to the right. And that gives space, hopefully, for your left foot to slide up. And your hands to the inside of your left foot. And just explore, coming forwards and backwards. Working into the left hip now. And either carry on doing that or optionally, hands to either side of your left foot and slide your left heel forward, stretching out the back of your left leg. One side might be different from the other.
No, this is fine, it's easier on this
This
side.
is easier on my side.
Much, much
Ditto.
easier. Yeah,
Ditto.
yeah.
Isn't it funny?
I can hardly do it on the other side.
No,
Maybe
my
it's
hips
because
are-
we're all right-handed.
Yeah.
I'm left-handed though.
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
oh.
Yeah. Sorry to break the.
break that thought
That's
pattern.
that
Sorry.
theory gone.
Yeah. And then just slide the leg back. And breathing in, kneel up.
So like a couple of
Lift and roll the shoulders.
I guess it's doing us some good.
Breathing in, hands up. And breathing out, turn to the right. Breathing in, hands up. And breathing out, hands to the left. Come to the centre. Just tuck your toes under, tummy in, and we're going to roll up to standing. Bring your feet to your hands to your feet. Soften your knees. Drop your head. And start to roll up to standing. Lift and roll shoulders. Is that better, standing up?
it's a bit.
Breathing in, hands up, clasp and reverse. Stretch up and breathing out, lower hands. Lift and roll shoulders. Breathing in, snake the right hand up. Doesn't matter if you go on to the other one. Breathing out, turn the head to the left, away from the right arm. Take a breath in and out. Breathing in, come back to the centre. And breathing out. Breathing in, snaking the left arm up. Breathing out, turn the head to the right. Stay here for an in and an out breath. Come back to the centre of the head and just release the arm. Lift and roll the shoulders, clasp your hands behind your back and aim your knuckles to the ground. Just lift your arms slightly away from you. Your hands can be together, which is harder, or open weave, which is easier, but not quite so yogic. Turn to the left, your hands are slightly away from you. Come to the centre and turn to the right. And come to the centre. Release the hands, just shake the hands out. And then just place your fingers underneath the collarbones as you draw a line where the collarbones meet in with the shoulder. And just rub anywhere that's sore around that point, connects into your kidney energy, your life vitality. You can tap here as well if that's helpful. And then just release the hands. And then breathing in, turn the head to the left. Breathing out, turn the head to the right. Just a couple of times more, breathing into the left. Breathing out to the right. Into the left. And out to the right. And then come back to the centre. Soften the knees and extend the hands up, clasp and reverse. Breathing out, a lateral stretch to the left. Doesn't matter if you've gone the other way. Breathing in, stretch up, and breathing out, stretch to the right. Breathing in, stretching up. Just turn to the left. Come to the centre. And breathing out, turn to the right. And come to the centre. Lower the arms. Lift and roll the shoulders. Hands on the waist and just bend the knees. Feel the abdominal control engage. And then breathing in. Come to standing. And test balance by just lifting the heels. Once your heels are lifted, if you drop your heels to 1 millimetre off the ground, it puts weight more into the heels and you're still balancing-ish, and then lower the heels down. Feet apart and just swaying from side to side. I think, particularly with a couple of examples recently in mind, even gentle movement stops that stagnation. Absolutely. Blood clots and things like that. And start to slow down and come to stillness. Lift and roll the shoulders. Hands together at the heart centre. Soften the knees. Half salute to the sun. Hands up, palms together. Draw the energy through the centre. Bend the knees. And slide your hands to somewhere along your shins. Press your hands into your shins to half lift. Breathe out, curling. Breathe in heartily and stay here as you breathe out. Breathing in, soften the knees, press the feet down and roll up to standing. Just bring the hands to the collarbone and just circle the shoulders. So although we're looking at shoulders, we're also looking at neck. I'm circling mine forward, but you go whichever direction works for you. In theory, the elbows should meet, but don't worry if they don't. And then when you're ready, just circle them in the opposite direction. And just make sure that you finally just lift and roll your shoulders to set the shoulders properly. Release the hands. Just lift the toes and purposefully replace the toes, spreading your feet out a little bit. And just then slightly come forward and slightly come back, rocking forwards and backwards to get your centre of balance. And then slightly from side to side. And feel that you're engaging your big toe, your toe joint, but also your feet are spreading, that your little toes are engaging as you go from side to side. And then press your feet into the ground so as you feel that you're pressing the earth away from you. And that might just lift you up here at the chest bone. Lift and roll the shoulders again. Half salute to the sun. Bring your hands together at the centre. Soften the knees and circle the hands up. Palms meet. Bring the energy through the centre. Soften the knees and slide the hands onto your shins. Breathing in, heart lift. Breathing out, curling. Breathing in, heart lift. And stay here as you breathe out. Soften the knees, press the feet down and roll up to standing. Lift and roll the shoulders. Circle the wrists up. And circle the wrists down. Lift your right foot, maybe place it out for balance and just circle the ankle, the whole length of the circle. And then circle in the opposite direction. And then place the right foot down and find your balance as you lift your left heel and circle one way. And then circle in the opposite direction. Come back to standing, hands together. And then we're going to come down onto our backs, knees bent, feet hip width apart. And look again at the hips. So start with your palms down, feet hip width apart, or maybe even a little bit wider. Check that your chin is down to stretch out the back of the neck. And then just start to sway both knees down to one side. As you breathe in, the knees come back to centre and both knees then sway over to the other side. You can lift your hips off the ground and you can sway a little bit or a lot. So choose. Your movement. Back of the head is being massaged. As you sway, back of the hips are being massaged. very good for lower back. What's happening is the body is being supported by the earth, and so your muscles, including the long muscles running up and down either side of your spine, can start to relax. They do take a long time because they're your whole body support, and they take time to begin to feel safe to relax. And then finally bring your knees back to upright. Perhaps adjust your feet if you've had them wider to bring them to hip width apart. And we'll start by hugging the left knee into the chest. Just settle for a couple of breaths. And then start to circle the left knee in one direction. So you can feel the top of your leg is moving in the hip socket here. And any stiffness is being very safely and gently addressed. And then circle the knee in the opposite direction. And then make a very small figure of 8 with your knee. And the invitation is to reverse your figure of 8, which is a mind exercise as well. And then hug the knee into the chest. Still hold the knee as you breathe in and let the knee extend to arm's length. Slightly away from you. And just a few times hugging the left knee into the chest. And let it extend away to arm's length. And just hug the knee into the chest. And supporting the knee, the leg, the left leg, place the left foot on the floor. Palms down. And just very gently sway both knees from side to side. So making a sweeping generalisation, as we found out earlier, is not necessarily the best idea. However, most people, if they're going to have problems with their hips and their lower back, tends to be on their right side if they're right-handed. But of course that is a sweeping generalisation. So bring your knees upright and then hug your knee into the chest. The semi-supine stretch creates a little bit of space at the lower back level and supported as well back, and so it becomes very releasing. And then start by making small circles. You can make them bigger as you go. Just choose your circle. Where stiffness can set in is where the joint isn't moved to its full rotation, and in that lack of movement and the edges is where stagnation develop and where stiffness toxins can come out of the blood system and just create calcium deposits if you've got, for instance, arthritis. And then just circle the knee in the opposite direction. So doing this breaks up any stagnation. And because there's no weight on the joint, it makes it a very safe and gentle option. And then choose perhaps a figure of 8. One direction. And then a figure of 8 in the opposite direction. And then start to hug the right knee into the chest. Still holding it, breathe in and let it travel to arm's length. And just do that a few times. And then hug both knees into the chest and just rock from side to side. You can go right down to your elbows, back of your elbows, or you can rock just slightly from side to side. Again, that's your choice. And then holding the knees together, circle both knees in the same direction. And again, you can choose to hug your knees right into your chest, or you can choose to have your knees a little bit away from you, and you'll find that this affects or has or impacts whereabouts on your lower back you massage. So the further the knees are away from you, the lower you are massaging on your lower back, almost into your sacral area. Again, circling so you can get several parts, and there's change direction. And then just dropping the feet to the ground. And breathing in, just raise your hands, clasp them underneath your head, and open your elbows to the side. If this is too strong under your arms, then just bring your elbows up slightly. Or almost slightly lift your head. Your chin will come to your chest, and coming back to the neck again, this will stretch the back of the head, back of the neck. If you've got any tension, this will ease out the back of the neck. And if you actually lift up a little bit more, you'll feel your abdominal muscles engage. And then just release and back. Your arms open like this is connecting to the lymph system, the upper lymphatic system. And just relax. And then you've got your bolsters, hopefully nearby. So take your bolster, your knees are up to the ceiling, your feet are on the floor. press down with your feet to lift your bottom and place the bolster underneath, comfortably underneath your bottom, underneath your bottom really, for support. And then from here, hug one knee into the chest and then the other. Your hands can stay on the ground, palms down. And then raise one foot to the ceiling and then the other foot to the ceiling. Your hands, as I said, can rest palms down, or if you prefer to rest them on your abdomen, welcome to do that. And so this becomes a very supportive bridge that you'll find in Tibetan yoga. It's an inversion. And any inversion is very helpful for the hormonal balance of our bodies, the endocrine system. But while your legs are up, just point your toes up to the ceiling and then extend your heels, so you'll feel this, your knees can be slightly soft. And then perhaps begin to circle the ankles in one direction. And circle the ankles in the opposite direction. And then you can just gently let the feet subtly sway from side to side. You might find that they follow their own circling or swaying. The invitation is to imagine your legs being like seaweed, just gently swaying as the water laps, just creating movement. So in this position, there's often pressure mid-back behind the heart area. So it's meant to be very helpful. It ticks a lot of boxes in that respect. It's like a shoulder stand stroke, Viparita Karana, which is like a half shoulder stand. It relaxes the legs if we're standing on the legs all day, standing on our feet. And so the main purpose for this is an inversion which the back needs for perfect back health. Downward dog's an inversion as well. And balancing the hormonal system. You can also have legs up a wall. You can take your hands and just massage the backs of your legs, the fronts of your legs, the insides of your legs. And then just very gently begin to think about bending the knees back into the chest. Just hug your knees into your chest, probably have a slightly different feel because you've got the bolster there. And then just very gently bring your feet back down to the earth once more. And you can either stay here, or if you want to remove the bolster, press the feet into the earth Just lift up slightly to slide the bolster out from underneath you. And if you have done that, maybe have your knees into your chest once more. Just rock from side to side and then up and down. Just stretching out the lower back again. And then completing a look at the hips by sliding your hands down the shins, which will open your knees away from each other in a V, and just hold either your ankles or above your ankles. Your big toe joints will be vaguely facing one another. It's like it's like a variation on Baddha Konasana. You're opening the inner groins for your hips. So we're just getting the opposite way, but you don't have to stay here very much. Just feel the stretch on the inner inside. And then just hug the knees into the chest. And just freestyle of going rock from side to side or circle and hug the knees into the chest. And then very gently bring your feet to the ground or just roll over to the side. We're going to come to a seated position that's comfortable for you. So come up to a seated position when you're ready. And come to, this is very good for the brain. Staves off a few things because it engages the mind. Hands up. And you can choose to chant or not. The chant is Sat, Ta, Na, Ma, which is the circle of life. So Sat is S-A, Ta, T-A, Na, N-A, and Ma, M for mother, A. So thumb to second finger, Sat, Ta, Na, Ma, Sat, Ta, Na, Ma, Sat, Ta, Ma, Ma, Sat, Ta, Na, 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 Ma, Sat, Ta, Sat, Ta, Na. Last time, Sat, Ta, Na. And silently to yourself. Just hold that, your chin slightly to your chest. And then just take a moment to have a thought for the day, yourself or someone close to you. Bring your hands to your heart, chin to your chest, and take a bow for yourself.